we have a pretty big story that just basically confirms what some of us knew after October 7th. After October 7th, outlets like the Gray Zone, Mondevice reported that, Israel knew what was coming. And also so did the New York Times. I'll show you that in just a minute. But now it is being confirmed in Haaretz, which is an Israeli outlet, by the way, that a top IDF commander, opted not to boost security after visiting the Nova Festival 1 hour before October 7th Hamas massacre. Check this out, guys. This is a Haaretz investigation. It reveals that Colonel Haim Cohen arrived at the Nova site about an hour before the Hamas attack, saw thousands of partygoers with minimal police presence, but did not consider dispersing the festival. Most IDF forces were unaware it was even taking place. So let's get into this here. This is the story that is kind of driving some people crazy. But like I said, people had hinted towards this not too long after October 7th. And about an hour before the Hamas attack on the Nova Music Festival on the morning of October 7th, the IDF commander in charge arrived at the site after receiving prior intelligence warnings, but he took no preemptive action. Haaretz has learned. Well, no, Haaretz, you did not just learn that, because here's the thing. There was this article by the New York Times, and this article was published, where's my date? November 30th of 2023. And the headline read, just to remind everybody, Israel knew Hamas's attack plan more than a year ago. So, no, they didn't just know. Now, we'll come back to this because there were many people who were trying to give a heads up in independent media that tried to say, guys, Israel let this happen. They knew ahead of time. They let this happen so they can go ahead and use this as an excuse to wipe the Palestinian people out. Now, let's continue. Again, this is an Israeli outlet discussing this. Lieutenant Colonel Haim Cohen, commander of the Northern Brigade in the Gaza division, observed massive crowds at the festival and noted that only a handful of police officers were on security duty. But Cohen told military investigators he had no information suggesting that he should act differently or order the festival to be dispersed. It has not yet been clarified exactly what intelligence information was disclosed to him that night. So again, people have to understand that Israeli intelligence is highly sophisticated, so sophisticated to the point where they can use it to see, I don't know, like a crumb on your shoe. So this whole idea that, oh my God, we had no idea, they just came out of nowhere, which the New York Times had reported about that in November of 2023, that they knew 1.5 years prior about the planned attack and chose not to put in any preemptive measures, which means once again that Israel was willing to sacrifice its own people to remove an entire population of Palestinian people. So this commander had intelligence prior and chose not to do anything about it. So does everybody see this? The Nova party is going here where 378 people were killed and 44 were taken hostage into Gaza, became the deadliest site of the October 7th attacks. An IDF investigation obtained by Haaretz determined that it was a mistake not to consider canceling or dispersing the festival during the divisional assessment held that night. A deeper discussion might have led to such a decision, despite the division's limited understanding of Hamas intentions and intelligence constraints. The investigation also said that Cohen miscalculated when he did not assign a military force to the festival complex, given the size of the crowd, the timing, and the sensitive location. So, do you guys actually believe that he miscalculated, or you do believe that was intentional? I think it was intentional. They control and track what food goes into Gaza. They control the air, the land, and the sea. They were shooting at peaceful Palestinian protesters. They were shooting at their feet years ago. So, do you guys really believe that, oh, it was an oversight on my part? I miscalculated. No. This is what we were saying before. Now, it goes on to say that Cohen remained at his home in Tiberias, northern Israel, overnight into Saturday, October 7th, 2023. Now, throughout the night, the Shin Bet military intelligence and senior IDF command picked up alarming signs of unusual Hamas activity. Although not all the information was passed up the chain of command to Cohen, he decided at 3:13 a.m. for unclear reasons to drive from Tiberias to the division's distant southern base. So it goes on to say here, overnight into Saturday, additional intelligence reached the division, and at 4 a.m., a telephone briefing led by IDF Chief of Staff Herzi Halavi and attended by the Southern Command Chief was held. During Cohen's drive south, Cohen received updated assessments of the situation. After roughly a 2-hour drive, Cohen arrived at the festival complex around 5:30 a.m. and on his way to the division base. In several conversations with senior military officers, he described seeing firsthand the large number of attendees, more than 4,000, and the security arrangements in place. Cohen noted that he saw a force of Yemen counterterrorism unit and another police vehicle positioned on Route 232. He told military investigators that this apparent increased police presence reassured him that the event was secure. But we know that's BS because the New York Times reported in November 2023, Israel knew Hamas attack plan more than 1 year ago. And it goes on to show that here, Israeli officials obtained Hamas's battle plan for the October 7th terrorist attack more than a year before it happened. Documents, emails, and interviews show. But Israeli military and intelligence officials dismissed the plan as aspirational, considering it too difficult for Hamas to carry out. And it was approximately a 40-page document. So I just say this, as many restrictions that Israel has put in place for things that did not happen, but they thought could happen, as many restrictions that they put in place against the Palestinian people, you mean to tell me you receive a 40-page document that shows a planned attack on said date from Hamas, but you don't take it seriously? But not only that, but you don't put anything in place, any measures in place, any units in place in case that did actually happen. And this is why I say, and I've said this for quite some time, I think they wanted it to happen. And this was going to be what they would use as a reason to kill an entire population of people, to genocide the Palestinian people. It doesn't make any damn sense. You got checkpoints all over the damn place. It's apartheid state. You have checkpoints in the West Bank. You have all of these restrictions in place. But you receive this document. You do nothing about it. Now you got the top IDF commander who comes forward. Now they say, well, I had intelligence the day before, but, I thought everything was fine, so we didn't do anything. Now that's twice. So it goes back to the Hannibal Directive, where Israel, and they've done this before, where they have been willing to sacrifice their own people because they feel as though this is part of the greater good and this way to accomplish this greater Israel plan. Now, I saw a number of Zionists that were not happy about this article that was published by Haaretz. Not too happy about it. Kind of pissed off, actually, that this was posted and they're calling it fake news and all this type of stuff. Okay, honey, it's your outlet. It's Israel's outlet. It literally says Israel News. It's just terrible. It's just absolutely terrible. And I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do with this information, but what it does do is it does confirm some of the suspicions that were reported earlier on from independent media journalists like the Gray Zone, like Mondaweiss, Electronic Intifada, etc. They got it right. Corporate media was very, very, very wrong. And even some in independent media got this wrong. And if you follow the money, then you all know that this is all part of that Gaza resort plan, which apparently, according to Whitney Webb's article, was already decided upon in 2016. So if we know that Paolo Zampali, who was Trump's appointee, had already decided that, yes, we want this Gaza resort. In 2016, he had already decided that. And you know that the New York Times reported that they knew about the planned attack a year and a half before October 7th. And you now know that the IDF commander is saying, yeah, I got intelligence the night before, but I didn't do anything about it. Then you know it was all part of the plan. What a mess. What a mess. What a mess. What a mess. It's out there. It is what it is. But I'm telling you guys, connect the dots. Some of the reporting from Whitney Webb's Epstein articles are connected to other things, not just about Jeffrey Epstein. They're long articles, but when you sit down and you read through it, you start connecting it to all these other situations and cases. Follow the money, man. Follow the money. Yes, they are willing to genocide an entire population of people to take the land, build resorts, steal the resources that are along that Gaza coast. They're willing to do it all for the money. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.